right. Woo. How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling good? Can I get my presenter notes up here? We can do that in the back. First of all, before I get started, listen, I'm on level 10 today. All right, so I want to apologize. First of all, give it up for everybody. Give it up for Rachel. Incredible. I'm like, man, I got to go after her? Gosh, that's tough. Give it up for Dean. Give it up for Brendan. Give it up for Eatin. And just real quick before I get started, I want to send a big shout out to Dean Graziosi. Literally, the man changed my life. And I'm not saying that just to say it on stage to impress you guys, but seriously. He said, I want to give more you to the world. I'm going to just be honest. With me having my NFL career, there's a lot of people, I'm sure if you watch my videos, I talk about loyalty a lot. So there's a lot of people who were just beneficial to what came with me. And so when he first came to me, I was like, I don't know. But after a while, I seen how pure his heart was, and he's helped me. My book deal, he's helped me. It's not about money. Like, you'll hear me talk about, I can care less about, I'm not saying I can care less about money, all right? But my purpose is not money. But, he's helped me make more money than I ever made playing the NFL. And that's because of him believing in me. So sometimes it takes someone seeing in you, right, what you don't even see in yourself. Can I get my presenter notes up here in the back? Yeah, they're not up. All right, cool. And so I want to just start off like this. If we can put that up, the first slide up. I want everybody to make the world respect your greatness. Matter of fact, before I get started, let's tell the person next to you, say, don't take this personal. Now tell the other person next to you, say, don't take this personal. Now tell yourself, say, take it personal. All right. Because I'm going to be honest, when I speak, I guess I am a motivational speaker by title, but listen, I didn't pick out motivational speaking picked out me. This was my biggest fear, speaking in front of people. I'm an introvert. I'm naturally quiet. I guess when I get on stage and talk about my purpose and my passion, this comes out. For me, doing this was a promise that I made to my friend almost about 10 years ago. My best friend committed suicide. And so when you hear me talk about your life isn't over, when you hear me talk about there's more to your life, I really mean those things because I carry so much guilt because I wasn't there for my brother. I was out partying when they found him. And I felt guilty because I don't know if anybody has ever dealt with that, but I was like, man, I should have been there for him. But I made a promise to him. I said, I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life. Making sure that everybody that comes in contact with me online, in person, they will know. They will not think, they will know that they're enough. Because I don't want anybody to feel like he felt. So understand, when I'm doing this, I'm not doing this for anything to impress you. I'm not doing this for claps and yes and likes. I'm doing this to impact a life. And if you have your life figured out, is anybody perfect in here? Let me see. All right, cool. I was like, let me know the secret after, right? So if we're being real, if we're being honest, everybody in here is dealing with something. I don't care if you've been on this stage or not. We all have something that we're dealing with. And a lot of us, what we have, what I like to call silent battles. The battles that nobody sees. You're smiling for the camera, but dying behind the scenes. And these silent battles are so tricky because it's like we're crying out for help. We want people to help us without saying a word. So I just hope from my message today, the message that you heard from Rachel, which was incredible, everybody's been on this stage, I just hope that you finally step up and face your reality. Because you will never win your war by running from your battles. And a lot of us, what we do, we run from it. You will never fix what you're not willing to face. And it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not have everything figured out. I'm still trying to figure things out. In July, I took a break from social media because early this year, I feel like I lost myself. And so I reached out for help. Mr. Brown, Les Brown, he was incredible. Give it up for Les Brown, right? Man, that was incredible. Like the GOAT. What he said was so important. He said, don't be afraid to ask for help. And that's something I'm living by now. Is that I'm not afraid anymore to be embarrassed. You know, when you have this public platform when millions of people follow you and all these things, they're in your life. It's hard because you have to put on a facade sometimes to let people know that you're okay. But I said, forget that. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be real. And I want to say this while it's on my heart. Your transparency will lead to other people's transformation. Understand that. Listen, a lot of us, we try to fake it till we make it. right? So it's like even being a speaker. Can I be real with y'all? Since Dean took my yup, can y'all say, oh yeah? I'm gonna charge you for that one. Not playing. But to be honest with y'all, to be real with you guys, my whole entire life, and I had great parents, and I'm not saying I had a bad childhood. I didn't. I had a great childhood. Both of my parents were supportive. They're still supportive. My mom still calls me now, making sure I'm all right. I'm like, I'm 34. I'm good. But my whole entire life, I was against the odds. Anybody ever felt like that before? Right? Dang, nobody else? Dang, y'all good. It's like, nah, not me. I got it all figured out, Trent. But I was against the odds. And one of the major odds that I was against, and I'm going to talk about this for a little bit, I only have an hour up here, was me being an NFL football player. That was my dream. Since I was 6 years old, I had 2 older brothers. All I wanted to be, it was my life. And to be real with you, it kind of is weird to say this, but it hurts to say this. Football was my God. So for you, it might be your job. For you, it might be a relationship. That was my relationship. But my whole entire life, when I told people I wanted to be an NFL football player, you know what their response was, right? That can't happen to you. Yeah, right. Teachers, give me the percentage. I already know the percentage by heart. It's 0.009% of you having the chance to become an NFL football player. And I said, well, I'm going to be in that 0.009%, right? And a lot of people, what was happening was they were placing their impossibilities on my life. And I want you to understand something. When you leave here, and it's true, I'm sure you experience this all the time, there will be people that place their impossibilities on your life. They're going to tell you what you can't be. They're going to tell you what you can't do. They're going to tell you what you can't heal from. They're going to tell you what you can't grow from. And a lot of us, we are too good at taking advice from people who have never been successful at what we're trying to be successful at. So don't let people place their impossibilities on your life. When I wanted to be a speaker, when I finally realized that it was the platform, I was like, God, like you could have let me just like not be a speaker. I don't like to speak. It's my biggest fear. But he called me. And that's how it happens sometimes. God doesn't qualify, right? He doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the call. And with my life, I can honestly say, I can clap for that. I'm like, clap, it's okay. I'm sorry, like, that's my faith. Nothing against anybody, whatever you believe. I just got to tell my story and be real and transparent with my life. And so with me being a speaker, I'm just going to be honest with you. And nothing against anybody, but I'm a little different. I'm a little different, especially in this field. When I first started telling people I wanted to be a speaker, they say, Trent, you're not professional enough. You don't wear the suit and the tie. You don't know how to write on a flip chart. You don't know how to do all these things. You don't know how to do this and do that. You're not professional enough. You know what I told them? I said, I'm purposeful enough. And they kept trying to tell me, they kept trying to change me and change my message and change. If you do this, you can speak at this company. If you talk like this, you can get in this building. But my grandmama told me something I'll never forget, God bless her soul. She said, if you have to change who you are in a negative way to get something, that's something is something that you don't need. And so for me, I said, I'm not going to change in a negative way. I'm not telling you not to grow and change because we should change. You should never stay the same. But I said, you know what? Since they won't let me in the building, I'm going to build my own. Since they won't share their platform, okay, cool, I'll build my own. And it took 10 years. You heard everybody's story. It took 10 years for me to get to this point. When I first started speaking, literally, it would be like the first 2 rows, and those people were my friends and my family. But it took me years to get here, and I didn't use any excuse. A lot of us, we are living life like this. Oh, the person I reached out to didn't reach back. The influencer didn't reach back. It's my mom's fault, my dad's fault, it's my husband's fault, my wife's fault, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this. You're living your life like this. And as long as you live your life pointing the finger externally, you give that external force, whatever it is, the power to control the rest of your life. Everybody point at yourself. Say it's on me. Say it's on me. Where you go or don't go, I promise you, it's on you. It's your responsibility. Take the power out of whatever excuse that you are given the power to. Take it back and realize that you are enough. No, seriously, you are, because I know we talk about loving yourself and so many people say it, but then when I look at their life, it's not a reflection of loving yourself. You got to set the tone for your life. If you don't love yourself, guess what? Nobody else is going to love you like that. If you don't respect yourself, nobody else is going to respect you. If you don't think highly of yourself, if you're not going to go and make the world respect your greatness, then nobody else is going to make you, nobody else is going to believe in you. But it starts with you and what you believe in. So stop giving yourself these excuses, man. And the main thing, some of you probably are thinking like this the whole time you've been here. Trent, Dean, Rachel, Brendan, Les, that's easier said than done. Right? Anybody say that? Oh, y'all are awesome. Y'all are ready. Easier said than done. I hear these words every single day, and it bothers me because I was that person that used those words to validate where I was at. It made me feel good about doing nothing about my life. It made me feel good about staying stagnant. Easier said than done. Let's talk about this right quick. Let's just kill those words right quick. Can we do that? All right. When people tell me easier said than done, you know the first thing I tell them? Duh. Right? Everything is easier said than done. Everything is. You flying here, right? Coming here or driving here, you getting dressed up, some of y'all looking fresh, got a haircut, got your hair done, everything, right? That was easier said than done, right? But you did it why? Because you want to look good and feel good, right? When you're hungry, what do you do when you're hungry? When you're hungry, what do? Eat. Somebody tell me what's your favorite restaurant in Phoenix, or just anywhere. Somebody tell me. Raise your. It's what? Bostinos? What's that? You said Tostitos? Boast with a B? P, Postitos. All right, what type of food is there?
It's Italian and American.
Okay, cool. What do you like from there? The what? Bruschetta. Let me ask you something. Can you cook? What's your favorite dish to cook? You sure? Let me check your phone. You got Uber Eats? Right? I used to do that when I was in college, like to impress my girlfriend. I would go order the food from like Texas Roadhouse or something, and I would put it on a nice plate, and I would act like I cooked it, right? I'm sure none of y'all done that before. What's your favorite food to cook? Just name something. Italian food. Okay, like what? Spaghetti. I love spaghetti. Awesome. Let me ask you something, right? Is it easier just to think about eating spaghetti as it is to actually go cook it? But what do you do because you're hungry? You cook it, right? Because you're hungry. If you don't eat, you probably will die or starvation, right? So that's a simple analogy, a parallel, but it's so true to our life. For the things like eating and food, we go cook. But we're supposed to be hungry for our dreams, hungry to be our best yous and me's, the greatest you. But yet we find an excuse and say easier said, and I'm going to tell you right now, when you're super hungry, because a lot of people talk it, but a lot of people don't live it. A lot of people say things that sound good or they type good, they post a quote. I tell people all the time, you shouldn't be watching the same video of mine 30 times, right? It should be a point where you actually make a change. When you're hungry for your change, you don't say easier said than done. You say no matter how hard it may be, no matter how impossible it may seem, I'm going to get it done because my life depends on it. That's the mindset that you got to live by. If y'all feel that, say, oh, yeah. Say, oh, yeah. Give yourself permission to be great. A lot of us, we gave everybody else permission to control us, to talk about us, to control how we feel about ourselves. Give yourself permission to be great. It reminds me of a kid I coached probably like 3 years ago on my son's team. His name was Matthew. And I'm just going to be honest. I hope Matthew doesn't see this. You definitely progress now, Matthew, if you're watching this. It's going to be on YouTube because he will see it because YouTube, gosh, kids be on there all day. So Matthew, right? Matthew wasn't that good. Just facts. And our team wasn't that good. And so I'm a realist. I'm not the guy that's going to like tell you something that you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to enable you. I'm going to make you work towards something if you want to become better. So I talked to the team and I tell Matthew, I was like, Matthew, you got to pick it up, bro. He's like, Coach, I want to play. And I was like, you're not going to play if you don't actually perform. So I tell the team, I say, y'all need to give yourself permission to be great. Stop waiting on the coaches. Stop waiting on your mom and dad. Stop waiting on your teammates and give yourself permission to be great. That was my whole speech throughout the whole week. So we get to the game on Saturday. Anybody ever coached kids before? Okay, so y'all know what I'm talking about right here. We get to the game on Saturday, and if you coach kids, you know every 2 minutes what happens. A kid asks you, can they go in the game, right? So, the whole entire game, Matthew was coming up to me saying, Coach, can I go in? I'm like, nah, you can't right now. A little bit later on. 2 minutes later, Coach, can I go? I'm like, no, you can't. Coach, no, you cannot go in. Okay, 5 minutes, you can go in the game. In 5 minutes. 5 minutes comes around, and if you're going to go into a game, what are you supposed to do? Come check in, right, with your coach. Not Matthew. He shoots out on the field. So I'm like, Matthew, what are you doing? Matthew! And I know he heard me, but it's like, right? So I had to make sure I don't have 12 men on the field, so I go ahead and call like my closest cornerback. I say, hey, come off the field. Matthew gets in the game. The coach will look at me like, why are you putting Matthew in? All right, so first play, Matthew, I'm watching him too. I'm like, boy, when he comes to the sideline, his parents going to be mad at me because I'm about to chew him up, right? Teach him respect. First play, Matthew, bang, tackle for loss. So I'm like, coaches look at me, I'm taking credit, and I'm like, should have been playing. Second down, no lie, Matthew, bang, tackle for loss. So the coaches are really looking at me now. I'm like, it's me. Matthew, I told you, right? Make the world respect your greatness, Matthew, right? Third play. Bang, Matthew again, tackle for loss. Fourth play, Matthew catches an interception. Yeah, right? So I look like the dumb coach, right, to him. It's like, he walk, you know when you're right, he walks back over there with the swag, right? Like, you should have been had me in the game, right? Like that swag, so I say, Matthew, look, great job, but listen, you can't just go check yourself in the game. Why'd you do that? He said, well, Coach, the whole entire week, you've been talking about give yourself permission to be great. So I gave myself permission, right? He said, how did I do? I was like, you killed it, bro. You killed it, all right? And I told him this. I said, I had to throw this in. I said, anybody can be great, Matthew, but remember, greatness is being consistently great, right? And so from there on, Matthew was a beast, man. So be like Matthew, right? Sometimes you got to just check yourself in the game, because what a lot of us do, you know what we do? We sit in the dugout expecting to hit home runs. We sit in the dugout. You know what a dugout is, right? Baseball. We sit there. Get up to the plate. Swing. You got unlimited swings in life until you tap out for good. Swing the bat. A lot of us, we're expecting to hit big shots without taking shots. I always tell us about Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant has, I don't know if y'all seen this video, I talked about it, has one record a lot of people don't talk about. You know what it is? The most missed shots in NBA history. How does that work? One of the greatest, I think he's probably, I'm a Kobe fan, so I say he's the greatest. Right? Lakers fan, there we go. LeBron, and okay, I'm not going to get on that, right? I might need LeBron. The greatest that we talk about, one of the greatest, the most missed shots. I don't know if y'all have heard of Barry Sanders before. I know a lot of you guys have, right? Is my earpiece falling off? I think it is. My ears are small. There we go. Perfect. Barry Sanders, one record a lot of people don't talk about. He has the most lost yards and would consider one of the greatest running backs ever. So what does that tell you? In order to be great, you got to lose sometimes. You got to have setbacks. And I don't know if y'all know Lewis Howes. Y'all know Lewis? Right? School of Greatness? Awesome. Lewis did a podcast with Kobe, and it really changed my mindset. Kobe talked about how when he was I think it was 12 years old, he was the worst kid in his whole basketball league. He scored 0 points. He told his dad, said, I love you regardless. And so Kobe did a little math. Kobe said, well, we only practice one time a week for a half an hour. If I practice every single day for 2 hours, then I'll get double of work on my game than those people who were just doing an hour. In 3 years, Kobe became the #1 player in his whole state. Understand, the most important work you ever will do is the work on yourself. The work, y'all, woo, it's supposed to be, oh yeah. Y'all feel that? Say, oh yeah. It's the work on yourself, the work that nobody else sees. But a lot of us, we spend our whole life looking like that. Can we point that up? It's funny, but it's not funny. Like, it is funny, but it's not funny. Because as Les Brown talked about yesterday, he said the world's richest place is where in the world? In the cemetery. And a lot of us, we spend our whole life waiting on somebody to support us, waiting on somebody to validate us, waiting on somebody to pat us on our back. If I would have spent my life waiting on people, I would never be here today. Stop waiting on people and start working. Because guess what? When you start working, those same people that you were waiting on, those would be the same people that start supporting you, the same people that start asking you for favors, the same people that start calling you. Start with what you have today. It's not a magic formula. Oh, Trent, I don't have enough followers online. You know what I started with? 0. And it was never about numbers, it was about impact, because numbers lie, but impact doesn't. I use this analogy all the time. I know people who have millions of followers that impact maybe 5% of those people. Maybe 1%. And I know people who have 1,000 followers that impacts all 1,000. Who's making a greater impact? 1,000, right? So understand it's not about numbers, it's about impact. Stop spending your whole life waiting. Set the tone for your life. You set the tone for your life. Like I said, how you treat yourself is a perfect example of how other people will treat you. Some of us, we allow our worth to be determined by external things. We allow our worth to be determined by a relationship. We allow our worth to be determined by our bank account. On these days, Lord, we allow our worth to be determined by how many followers we have on social media. Your worth is not external. Y'all realize that, right? You were given worth at birth. Can't nobody take that away. Understand that, because we allow it so much. And I want to talk about this for a second. We allow it so much. We let people change how we feel about ourselves. You will always feel like you're less seeing yourself through the eyes of someone who can care less about you. You'll always see yourself as less trying to change for a person that will never change for you. And a lot of us, we live our life like that. Making somebody else happy but dying inside. Losing ourselves to please someone else. The first step to unhappiness is trying to please everyone else. What's the point of gaining the world's approval if that gain means you lose yourself? It doesn't add up. And tell me this, why do we care so much about the opinions of others that can care less about us? And even myself, I care so much to be liked, and why? Just to impress people who can care less about my life? Just to impress people who magnify my flaws? Judge my imperfections as if mistakes aren't a part of us all? As if we all never fail, we all struggle. And it doesn't make you better because you hide yours well. It doesn't make you better because you act like you got it together. Because if your walls could talk, they would say something different than what you let the world see. So I tell people this: judge me, crucify me, pick me apart, but I'm through fearing your commentary because only God can judge me. And that's not an excuse, that's the truth. But when will you understand that hating on others only means you aren't working on you? How many of y'all got haters? Right? Everybody be raising their hand on this. If you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. So how many of y'all got haters? Right. I figured that, right? Some of y'all have 3 arms. You be raising them up like, I got a lot of haters. I'm like, you ain't got that many haters, right? Some of us got make-believe haters, but it's all good. It's all good. Let's talk about haters real quick. Real quick, and we're going to move on. How I dealt with hate as a public figure, right? Rachel talked about it. That your inbox, man, it gets rough in there. Seriously. I'm like, did I do something to you in high school? Like, what? But literally, people will say how much they hate you. You know, I'm in an interracial, right? I don't see color personally, but I'm in an interracial, there we go, relationship, right? My wife is Filipino. And I have so many people. Filipino in the house? Awesome, there we go. I have so many people that will judge that, and there's so many things they judge, but they judge that all the time. As if telling me what I don't need is really going to change what I love and who I love. And it's a dangerous place, and so many people ask me, Trent, how did you deal with hate? How do you deal with it? Because it hurts. Well, first of all, understand where the hate comes from, right? Let me ask you this question. Have you ever met a happy hater? Have you? Me neither. And I don't mean this because we all been in a place. I've been a hater. When I got cut from the NFL, everybody was sorry. Peyton was sorry. Tom Brady, they sorry, right? I was a hater because I was unhappy. So I realized that misery loves company. So if you have somebody that's a single friend and you're married and happy, and they're hating on you, trying to pull you away from that, because I'm going to talk about friends in a minute. I'll spend a whole bunch on friends, I promise you. I'll wait on that. But understand where it's coming from. So that's the first thing that I understood, where it's coming from. The second thing I understood was that their words could have no power over me unless I allowed it. So let me try something right quick. Let me get down here right quick. I like to do simple stuff. Let me see. Right here. Because you look like you don't want me to call you, so I'm going to call you.
I was trying not to make eye contact.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. I already know it. It's like, right? I promise I'm not going to do anything crazy, right? If this said poison, right? Poison, and I gave it to you, would you drink it? Why not? And I said, drink it. Even with that, drink it. You say no? You're saying no, but you're saying yes. No. All right. No, he's like, no, Trent, no. All right. Right. Simple, why? And what would poison do? Right? Same over here. If I gave you this and it was poison, I said, drink it, what'd you do? Right? Nothing. You look at me like I was crazy, right? Anybody here would drink this poison? Who raised their hand? He's like, it's a positive poison. I know where Trent's going with this, right? But seriously, though, it's crazy because it's common sense, right? If this was poison, we would not drink it at all. We wouldn't even consider drinking it. But it's crazy because when it comes to our life, we accept these emotional poisons. And one thing I always say is it's not a lot that you're in control of, but you're in control of two things, I feel like. What you give to people, nobody can control that. And what you accept. So a lot of us, we're accepting less from people. And it's making us feel like we're less. We're accepting all these things that we know are poison. And it might be a beautiful poison. It might be something that kills you slowly, but you're continuing to allow yourself to accept these things. You don't have to accept that. If it goes against what you stand for, what you believe in, I get it. Making decisions is hard, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't decide, life will decide for you. Life will decide for you. So when somebody gives you something, so now these haters, they give me all this hate. I don't accept it. All right, cool. You don't like me? Cool. I'm still going to make the world respect my greatness. You don't like my wife? Cool. I'm still going to love her to death. You don't like how my kids look? I'm still going to love my kids. Your words have no effect on my life. And I'm going to be real with you. You know what I always think? It's the biggest thing with haters. I'm like this. There's no way you can be a hater. No way. If you following me on every social media site. So let me go on stage right quick. Hold on. We got to talk about this right quick. All right. So you claim, can I just get the mic?
Yep.
Okay, cool. My ears are super tiny with these. All right, cool. So, oh, my bad. I just wanted to see if y'all was awake. So you are now. It's all good. If y'all awake, say, oh, yeah. Say, oh, yeah. All right, third thing, biggest thing. So this is what I realized. I'm like, okay, if you hate me so much, there's a button that you can press that I will no longer be visible in your life. Unless somebody shares a post, then maybe so. But you can press unfollow. But I realized this. Isn't it crazy that the people who hate you the most know the most about you? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. So I realized this. We're not going to call them haters no more. You know what we're going to call them? Confused supporters. They like you, they just don't know it yet, or they want to admit it, okay? So every time you see a hater, be like, you don't hate me. You know you love me, right? Right? So understand that, confused supporters. Let's go to this part. All right, y'all say this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I got to give a disclaimer, okay? I always do this. I am not trying to end any friendships, all right? I'm not trying to end any relationships, anything like that. Seriously, because every time I talk about know your circle, I start to see side eyes go on, right? Right. And then when we come back from break, the people that were sitting together don't be sitting together no more. And then a lot of my events, what happens, a whole bunch of Ubers pull up, right? They came together. He's like, I'm starting right now, okay? So have a conversation. Have a conversation. Your environment, though, I'm going to be honest with you. Your environment is everything. When I played in the NFL, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I had all the friends in the world. It was good. I had to get 2 phones. I had so many people. All the friends in the world. Because they knew a few things. They knew at this point in my life, they knew we were getting the club free. It's going to be women around. We're going to be drinking bottles for free. Going to be around celebrities. So I had all the friends in the world. Then when I got cut, like, didn't get, you know, when Dean was talking about when people ignore you, they press, like, I got that. Ignoring me, I couldn't find anybody. And so I always say rock bottom changed my life. I'm thankful for rock bottom because rock bottom showed me what was real and who was real. Anybody can be there at your celebration. Anybody can be there at your celebration. Anybody can enjoy the party, but who can help you plan the party? Who can help you clean up after the party? Anybody can ride your elevator to success, but who gonna help you build the building? Because I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of times we forget it was me. I forgot about the people who was truly there for me. Some people are in your life not because of who you are, but because of what you do. And I'm gonna tell you something. Once that what you do stops, their loyalty stops right with it. So the question I want to ask you right now, and don't take this over the top. Don't start just cutting people out your life. Unless they handed you the scissors, right? But the question I want to ask you right now is, if all you had to offer was friendship, that's it, friendship, who would still be in your life? Some of y'all's circles went like this, right? My circle, when I talked about it, went from a circle to a dot. It's quick. Who would still be in your life? If all you had to offer was friendship, who would still be around? You see, real situations expose fake people. So sometimes it takes getting down on life to find out who's really down. You see, people pretend well when their souls are for sale. And sometimes it's the ones you love the most that mostly want to see you fail. That's real. Just because they riding with you doesn't mean they riding for you. That's facts. You see, loyalty shouldn't depend on your presence. It's more about how they act behind your back. Who can you trust? Can I be real with you? Some of us are fighting for people that wouldn't throw a punch for us, and yet these are the ones we call friends. You know, the ones that care so much about your struggle, but yet so silent when you win. The ones that bring gossip to you about you, but your name, they never defend. Newsflash. Everybody in your boat might not be rowing, but drilling holes. And as time goes and their jealousy grows, pay attention because that's when true motives get exposed. Who can you count on when the benefit stops? Who's still going to be there for you? I got 3 levels. I got family, friends, and associates. I always tell people, people say, I don't trust nobody. I don't trust nobody. I'm like, you trust everybody. You trust the people that drive next to you on the highway. You trust the people who make your food. You trust a lot of people. All right? It sounds good, but you do. You trust a lot of people. I always say I trust people for who they showed me to be. Right? So I don't put people in a position that they can't handle. So I know if you're a liar, I don't expect you to tell me the truth. I know if you're a thief, I won't bring you around things that I care about. I trust people for who they are. So what I need you guys to do, and like I said, don't overthink this. If you got a strong team, great. I do right now in my life. But I want you to write down all the people that's closest to you. And I want you to write down a D or E by their name. Y'all do it now. You can write down the notes. And that D stands for, do they drain you? Do they drain your peace? Do they drain your worth? Are they always hitting you up about their problems, but they never ask you about theirs? And the E is for, do they energize you? We got to have more anchors, more engines in our life than anchors. And I'm talking about anchors in a bad way. Not the ones that hold us down in a positive way, but hold us down in a negative way. And I learned this about environment, how your environment is everything. How many of you guys feel like this environment in here just makes you want to grow? Right? This growth environment, pun intended, right? Well, I learned a lot about environment by, some of you heard this story before, by my adventure with gardening. Any gardeners in here? All right. That's what you call it, right? Gardening when you plant? Okay, cool. So me and my wife, we get this new house. And, let me just be clear, all right? And I have no shame. I've learned how to embrace everything about myself. I don't care about my weaknesses. That's the first step to growing yourself. I am not a handy person, right? It takes me like 2 hours to put together my daughter's like little toys that come in the box, right? I'm that guy. If you get a flat tire with me, we're calling AAA. We out of luck. I do a lot of other things great, but I'm not a handyman. But, I'm trying to get cool points. Any men in here try to get cool points with your wife? Right? Y'all better raise your hand, right? Yeah. So, we get this new house, and we're in Texas. And, well, it's cold now. It's like crazy. But usually in Texas, it gets cold around, November, December, depending on the weather. So we built this fire pit in the backyard because I'm all about protecting my peace. If you guys follow me, I'm all about that. So we built this fire pit, and it looks dope. It's great. So I'm like, cool. And I have to, YouTube how to, start a fire and stuff. So I'm the only person that go to YouTube University. Okay. Don't be acting brand new with me, right? So, my wife comes, and she's like, you know what would look nice around here, Trent? Like a garden, flowers. She's like, you protect your peace, it'll be awesome. So I'm like, cool. She was like, all right, cool. So I'm going to go in my neighborhood group, and I'm going to research a gardener. I'm like, research a gardener? Research me, right? I got this. And she looked at me and said, she didn't want to hurt my feelings. She was like, baby, I know you can do it, but you need to focus on rehab time. Focus on the things that matter. You don't need to be planting no garden. I was like, nah, I got it. So she's like, all right. So what do? I go to YouTube University, right? I research, and I'm good. I'm good. So I go up to the nursery, right? All right, cool. So I go to the nursery. I get there, and I don't know if it's just a man thing, but I don't like to ask for, help. Right? So, even directions, I got Siri on my phone, but I'm trying to figure it out. I'll be lost. I'm like, I got this. I know where we're going. So I go there, and I'm just looking at, you ever go somewhere trying to act like you know what you're doing, but you really don't? So I go there trying to act like I belong. So I'm looking at the flowers, touching them and stuff like that. It's shaking my head. I see the guy looking at me that works there. So he comes up to me and says, hey, sir, can I help you? What are you looking for? I was like, I got it. I'm good. I don't need help. So I'm looking around, and obviously he must see something in me that, that I don't know what I'm doing. So he comes back to me and says, sir, let me help you. And I'm like, no, I'm good. And I'm starting to get frustrated. And he's like, sir, I'm going to help you. I know you don't know what you're doing. He's like, these are winter plants, and you all messed up, right? I was like, all right, cool, bro. I was like, just give me the details. I'm trying to impress my wife. He's like, cool, I'm going to set you up. So I go home. I plant these flowers, and I didn't know planting flowers came with a book. I just thought you dig a hole, put the flower in there, cover it up, and it's good. It will grow, right? You got to check the soil. You got to water it all the time. It can't get too much water. I'm like, man, I'm in Texas, so I put it where the sun is just hitting it all day. I didn't know, right? I didn't take care of those flowers, so what do you think happened to those flowers? Right? They were dying. Most of them are. Some of them died. So I know we're all ethical people in here. None of y'all ever did this. It's just me. So I go back there because I spend a lot of money on those flowers, to be real. It's $600-$700. So I go back, and I say, hey, y'all gave me some bad flowers, man. I'm going to need a refund or exchange. And I'm not a good liar. So he started asking me, It's like your mom catches you in the lie, start asking you all the right questions, right? They're the wrong questions. She started asking me all these questions, and I'm like, man, I did this. I messed up. I confess. It's like, oh, you didn't, do this, X, Y, Z. Anyways, I take those same flowers. I buy some new ones, or he tells me how to save the other ones. I go back. I move some of the flowers. I take care. I make sure the soil is right. I water it, nurture the flowers, take care of the flowers. What do you think happened to those flowers? They grew. Me taking care of it grew. There's a quote that I always say. When a flower doesn't blossom, we don't blame the flower. We fix the environment in which it grows. So you're saying, Trent, what does a flower have to do with me? A lot of us is that flower. And this is the only time I'll tell you to blame, if you want to call it that. But a lot of us is that flower. It's not that we don't have greatness in us. It's not that we don't have gifts and talents and ideas. Everybody, God put a seed of greatness in each and every one of us. But some of us were just in the wrong environment. We're in an environment that doesn't support us. We're in an environment that breaks us instead of builds us. And until you find the courage to change your environment, your life will never change. Some of us are around the same people, doing the same things, expecting a different result. What is that called? And you're expecting things to change without making changes. You can't keep doing the same things. Listen, I'm going to be real. Can I be real with you? I'm going to be real with you. I used to love going out. I used to love it. When I stopped going out, it wasn't that I stopped liking it. But I did an evaluation on my life, and I asked myself, where did I want to go? There were certain friends in my life that I loved. But I realized that those friends weren't going to be the best for me to get to the level of life I wanted to live at. So I realized this, and it hurts and it sucks to say this. It's never easy. Sometimes you have to learn how to love people from a distance. And sometimes it's the people closest to you that mean the most to you. And a lot of us, we want that support from people, and I'm going to talk about this because it's on my heart. We want that support from those that are close to us. And I want you to understand, it's not you. When I first started this journey of rehab time, I got a lot of yeah rights. I got a lot of yeah, you can do it. One of those, you know what I'm talking about. Trent, you don't have a platform. Trent, you're not a speaker. Trent, you didn't go to school. Well, I went to Bilyeu. I took speech communications, but I promise you, I just took it so I wouldn't fail out so I could make it to the NFL. I promise you. But I guess it paid off in some aspect of it. But so many people told me these things. And for so long, I believed it. I believed the lies that they were selling me. And I made their lies become my truth. And a lot of us, that's what's happening to us right now. And I know a lot of you might have it all figured out. I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to that person that's sitting in that chair right now that's struggling with this. And I know a lot of people in here that are struggling with this. You want those people around us. We all want the people close to us to support us. But I'm going to tell you a fact. You don't need the people close to you to support you. You hear me? Do I know anybody? I do this at my events, but I'm going to do it here too. Do I know anybody in this room? Personally. Some people, right? Few. How does that work? Yet a room full of people, a room full of supporters across the world that I don't know personally. Any successful business or company, I can bet you that 99% of the people are strangers. So you tripping off the 0.00009%. And I get it, because you want to impress them and everything. But you don't need their support. Go prove it to yourself. And for some of us, go prove yourself wrong. That's where I started at with my life. Because I told myself what I couldn't be, what I couldn't do. You're not built for this, Trent. You're not smart enough for this. You don't have a background in this. But I proved it to myself. I proved myself wrong. I said, you know what? I'm going to try it. What's the worst that could happen? I fell in love with what if. Not what if this goes wrong, what if this can go right? What if there's more to my life than what was killing my life? What if there's more to my life than the people who left my life? What if there's more to my story than this chapter I'm stuck on? Some of us are stuck in the chapter, and it's time for you to turn the page. You're stuck on a chapter, and that chapter becomes your story. We all got bad. Who has had bad chapters in here? Right? We all have. You're not raising your hand, you lie. Right? You're lying, should I say. We've all had bad chapters, but I'll tell you this quote that I always live by. It's mine. Just because you have some bad chapters doesn't mean your story can't end well. Your pain, man, this is facts. Your pain, your past pain will become future strength for others. There's more to your life than what you're currently going through. Your current situation, to the lady back there that Rachel told you so much truth, understand, your current situation is not your final destination. It's not. Your life isn't over. Just because something is over doesn't mean your life is over. And trust me, I know it's easier said than when football was over, I was like, I don't care what you're saying, my life is over. But really, that painful ending just birthed a beautiful beginning. So turn the page with your life, all right? If you got that, say, oh yeah. I got to hurry up, man. Dang, time. I remember when I first got on stage speaking, 5 minutes would seem like 5 hours. Now an hour seems like 5 minutes. It's crazy, right? Y'all read this for me, if y'all can see it. Fall in love with progression. Dean talked about it. I mean, you're hearing it's not because, it's just truth. When you hear repeat things, you should really take note of that. Really take note of it. Don't dismiss it. But a lot of us, what we want to do is we want to simply close the gap. That's it. You got a vision, and you got a reality. And you got to work to close that gap to make your reality become your vision. Because I'm going to tell you something. I used to love dreaming until I realized that my real life was a lot better than my dreams. And some of us can't relate to that right now, but the people that are actually living their dreams and living more than their dreams, they know exactly what I'm talking about. I used to love to go to sleep because I was depressed. I was hurt. I was lost. I didn't want to go outside because I was so afraid and I was embarrassed. But now I'm actually living my vision. One of my visions was to go speak in Africa. And when I told people that, they're like, all right, Trent, like Africa, you might should start here first. Like start in Houston first. Like I'm in Fort Worth, right? Start there. But when I feel like God gave me this purpose and I never understood it. I still don't. When people tell me, Trent, you impact, I don't understand it, honestly. And I don't try to no more. But when I knew that this was my purpose, and let me talk about purpose just for a second. I took a different approach, and this might not be the right approach, I don't know, but it's something that I feel like is true. A lot of us, we go searching for our purpose. We search for it in a world that probably doesn't have it. We go searching in a world of confusion for our purpose. What if I told you that purpose is not something you search for? It's something that you already have. You were born with a purpose. You were born on purpose, hopefully. Purpose is you. And when I realized this fact for me, it changed my life. What you're searching for is the avenue. But I promise you this, you can leave right now out this, you can actually not even leave. You can, after I get off stage, you can talk to the person next to you and make an impact on their life. Purpose is using your life. As Les Brown said, what did he say? Live what? Full and die what? That's purpose. So I want you to understand that. And so when I realized that I can just use my life and my gifts and my talents and just be me, raw and real. I don't care about perfection. And a lot of us, we live this filtered life on social media. Perception has become the new God for a lot of people. Y'all feel me. And some of y'all, trust me, for me at a point, I had to check myself. We're so worried about how people see us. We have to protect our brand. We can't show that we're struggling because then it doesn't look like we have it all together. Let me tell you something. By you not having it all together, well, people will relate to you more than ever. You're helping them through the process. You're not at the top of them. I can't stand when people are at the top of the mountain telling you how to get up there. It's like, this is how you get up here. Forget being at the top of the mountain. If you made it to the top, go back down and help people and climb with them back to the top of the mountain. So back to my Africa thing, right? So I'm out there. Well, I had a vision of this. Crazy. And visions are important, but visions aren't enough. Inspiration isn't enough. Motivation isn't enough. I'm pretty sure somebody talked about it. You're going to be motivated, but who are you 3 weeks from now? Commitment is staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you set in is left. So a lot of y'all going to change a lot of stuff. The New Year's mindset, as I like to call it. You know what I'm talking about, right? I'm changing everything. I'm going to the gym. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Your change isn't serious if you need a new year to make a change. All you need is a new moment. That's it. Right? And a lot of people, it's so funny because I see a lot of people say, Trent, I got off of Facebook. Right? Some of y'all going to change y'all's numbers. You're going to get off Facebook. And then when you get off Facebook, I can't stand when people like write a long speech or why they're getting off of Facebook. You ever seen that before? It's like, dear y'all, this is why I'm getting off of Facebook, right? Just get off if you got to make a change. It's not Facebook. It's not your number. It's you. It's you. Okay, I'm sorry. Back to, my mind goes a lot of places. Back to Africa. So, I've been to South Africa twice now. Like, and I don't say these things to impress you, man. Like, I've been able to travel across the world, like, with my own events. Sometimes Fiji was 3,000 people. New Zealand, Australia, I mean, you name it. And it's crazy to me. But it's not crazy to me. When people ask me in an interview and say, Trent, are you surprised that you're here? I said, to be real with you, now I'm not surprised. Because my mind was already in Africa before my body ever showed up. I'm gonna say it again for y'all that my mind was already there when my mind was already there before my body showed up. That's what a vision is, and that's how you close the gap. And you close the gap by, I like to call it the C4 formula. And I called it this because people didn't take it serious unless I made it sound good. It's easy stuff, right? I'm gonna just call it the C4 formula, right? Easy stuff. Number one, make a choice. Easy, right? Some of y'all, no, it's not easy. Make a choice with your life. Whatever it is today, make a choice. Take a first step. There's no journey. There's no success without a first step. The most important step is the first step, and the next important step is every step after that. Choice doesn't equal change, though. There's a lot of people who make choices that never follow through. So to add on to that choice, you need a commitment. I just said what the definition of commitment was, staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you set in has left you. That's commitment. Commitment is your why. You heard, and it's funny that Dean said that I'm coming up with new stuff, and Les Brown just, I've been doing that for years, right? It's so great to learn from the greats. But he said, find your why, right? Your commitment is your why. What's your why? What's the reason why you wake up every single day? What's the reason why you do what you do? What's the reason why you won't quit? What's the reason why there's no other option but to move forward? For me, it's my family. For me, it's you guys. I can't quit even if I wanted to quit. That type of commitment. I'm not talking about a little play commitment. I'm talking about a real commitment. And I'm going to tell you what exposes your commitment: inconvenience. Inconvenience exposes commitment. When it gets real, you're going to see how real your commitment is. The next thing is consistency. Ooh. Consistency. Anchor your actions in greatness so daily you produce nothing less than your very best. The reason rehab time is grew to what it is, it's just simple consistency. People know they can come to my page and get a motivation, inspiration. They know what they're going to get from me. The reason why you go, what's that restaurant? You said Tostitos? What is it? Bostitos. Okay, I got you. I must want some chips and dip. The reason you go there, right, because it's consistent. If you went there and you probably really like it, so you probably give it a few chances. But if you went there, the food and the service was terrible, you wouldn't go there anymore. You go there because it's consistent. Realize you become a go-to person, not off the talent, but off the consistency. And I live by this motto: words lie, actions lie, but consistency doesn't. I believe patterns. Anybody can do anything for the moment. Believe those patterns. Y'all got that? Say, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Say, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Are y'all getting something from this? Oh, yeah. Were you about to say number 3? 4? Oh, 4 is change. So it's really 4 C's. That all equals change. So choice times consistency times commitment equals change. And just repeat. Do it over and over and over and over and over again. I want to share something that's pretty hard for me to share, and it's about changing like my perspective on things. And I just have to be transparent. This is tough because if you guys follow me, you probably know where I'm going with this. But your perspective can either be your power or your prison. And some of us, if you're living with that, this is easier said than done, your perspective is your prison. If you're saying, Trent, I don't care how hard it may be, I'm getting it done. It's your power. But my perspective got exposed probably about 3 months ago. My mom, you know, it's crazy when you see somebody that's so strong, man, your whole life, and has so much faith, and you see a sickness, take that away. And my mom, I guess it was a year or 2 ago, I shared this last year, and it was a success story, but my mom, she wasn't feeling well, and she went to the doctor, and out of nowhere, she has stage 4 breast and liver cancer. And it's crazy because it's like when you're the guy that everybody goes to for inspiration, but you don't know the words to say to your mother. I didn't know what to say. They gave her 6 months to live. If she didn't do treatment for a fact, 6 months to live, she did, who knows what happens. My mom called me one day, and I've never heard my mom break down. And she called me and said, Trent, why me? Said, why did God allow this to happen? And if you know my mom, she doesn't question God, man. So I've been faithful. I've been all these things. Why me? And before I can even think, I don't know why I said this, but now I know why I said, Mom, why not you? And she got quiet, like, said, what did you say? I said, why not you? I said, Mom, there's a greater purpose than the pain you're currently experiencing. I don't know if it's to bring somebody closer to God. I don't know if it's to show your faith. I don't know if it's to grow your faith. But I told her, it's not faith if faith is not tested. And I said, I know this sucks, but you will heal. She called me the next day crying. Said, Trent, all my hair is coming out. And if you know my mom with her hair, Trent, I'm ugly. I don't feel beautiful. I'm getting all these marks on my face. I know when people, not saying my mom will commit suicide, but I know when people are starting to head down that road. She might never admit this, but I know that voice. I know it. So I said, Mom, I'm about to come over there. I take her to my barber, and I said, Mom, I want you to embrace this. I said, don't worry about being healed, because some of us focus on being healed so much. So many of us focus on getting to the destination so much. We're so focused on that we don't even realize how far we actually came. So I told my mom, I said, focus on healing. Every single day it's healing. So when you throw up, when you can't eat, you're healing. It's a part of the process, Mom. I said, Mom, when you lose your hair, you're healing. Mom, when you lose your train of thought, like that cancer is, man, you're healing. And on the 6th month, when they said my mom had a chance of not being here, it's on Halloween, really, it's crazy. She got a report that all her cancer was gone. Right? And so she had her post-treatments, and I would go with her, and it just, man, that place, man, is just not fair. And you realize that Dean talked about earlier, I always say 150,000 people die every day. You realize, man, I don't care how rich you are. I don't care. We can't escape that. And what matters most is memories in which you leave here. And I'm not saying I have all these external things, but when my mom got sick, it really changed my mindset. And you will realize what matters most when you're going through something like that. I didn't care about social media. I didn't care about none of that. I didn't. All I wanted my mom to be healed. And we go through our post-treatments, and anybody ever battled cancer? Right, you ring the bell, right, when you're through. Right, y'all do that here? Or, yeah, ring the bell. So we go through our treatments, things about a few months. My mom's complaining that week. She's like, Trent, and my mom's over the top dramatic, right? So she was like, Trent, I don't feel right. I don't feel like myself. I'm just like, just drink some water. You're probably dehydrated. You're fine. She goes to the doctor. She's the doctor. My mom is super dramatic. So the doctor's looking like, okay, Miss Shelton. She's like, I don't feel right. She's like, I want to do a CAT scan, PET scan, whatever one it is. And she goes, she rings the bell, her last post-treatment. The next day, she goes to the doctor. The day after that, they tell her that she has brain cancer. And at that moment, I'm gonna be real with you, man. My faith, I was angry. So give that to me. I don't want her to go through that. She don't deserve it. But my mom in this process still stays strong, and she's still healing. But I realized that in those moments, I couldn't control anything, but I still can control my perspective. And after breaking down and crying, I chose to look at things through a better light. And so I want to tell you this. Your perspective is your choice. It's your choice. It can be your power, or it can be your prison. And what matters most in life? Parents in here? Any parents in here? This might not be the popular thing to say, but I'm going to say it. It does no good to be successful to the world if you're not successful to your world. There's a lot of successful failures. And what I mean by that is that social media and everything, it's all good, it's great. But they're not there for their kids. They're not there for their spouse. And that's what matters most. Understand, parents in here, your choices will become your child's consequences, whether they want it or not. So make sure you make this change, not just for you, but for them. It's time to break the cycle. I'm tired of seeing this cycle of hate. I'm tired of seeing this cycle of pain. You're the definition of love for your kids. They view a relationship by your relationship. They view faith by your faith. So what are you putting out? Don't be so concerned with impressing people if you can't impress the ones that need you most. You know what the coolest thing that I feel like my title is, and like the coolest thing to me? It's not like the millions of followers. It's not all of that stuff, because none of that stuff really matters at the end of the day. It doesn't. But you know what's cool to me? When my son is proud of me. When he said, Dad, I want you to come to school. I want you to eat lunch with me, because you're the cool dad. I go in there and they're like, that's the YouTuber, right? And that makes me proud. He's like, Dad, you're my coach. That makes me proud. I promise you this. One thing about it, anybody close to me with my kids and my wife, I promise you this, they're gonna know what love is. My daughter's gonna know what a man is, and my son is gonna know what a man should be. Man, y'all got me up here being emotional and stuff. Hold on. All right, I'm about to end. Everybody stand up on your feet right quick. Like I told my mom, a lot of us are saying, why me? I know that far too well. Why me? Why me, God? Why do I have to get cut? Why do I have to get released? Why do I have to have this sickness? Why me? Why did my parents have to abandon me? Why me? But I realized this, that there's no strength without pain. So sometimes you have to go through the things you don't want to go through so it can grow you. So I need y'all to start changing your mindset from why me to why not you. Why not it be you that rise above all the opinions, all the doubts, all the haters? Why not it be you that has that sickness but doesn't lose that faith in that sickness, defeats that sickness, that beats cancer, that beats whatever? Why not you? Why not it be you from your city, from your block, from your neighborhood that reaches the world? Why not you? What excuses you giving yourself? A lot of us focus on our can'ts. I can't. All you need is one can. Let your can be powerful than any can'ts in your life. It's time for everybody in here to stop playing with your life, stop pressing snooze on your life, and start waking up and living your greatest life. Turn to the person next to you and say, I'm about to live my best life. Turn to the person behind you and say, you about to live your best life. And that's facts. But you have to make that decision. Listen, a lot of people give us titles of life changer and things like that. I'm not a life changer. I can't change your life. I'm just a seed planter. We just planted seeds, but it's up to you to water it. I can't change you. I can impact your life. I can influence change. I can motivate change, but you have to make the change. And I want to tell you this. Just because your path is lonely doesn't mean your path is wrong. Everybody won't be willing to grow to where you want to go. Everybody won't make it to your next level because everybody won't be willing to sacrifice what it takes to create greatness. So unfortunately, the ones that started with you might not finish with you. The ones that had your back might turn their back. But you can't allow who left you to keep you from your best you. You can't allow what left your life to stop your life. In order to move up, there's some things you must be willing to give up. In order to get ahead, there's some things you must be willing to leave behind. Hold on to your limitations won't help you reach new destinations. Carrying dead weight won't help you be great. Never let the fear of losing people cause you to lose yourself. This is your journey. It's not about perfection, but progression. It's not about being perfect, it's about becoming better. I'm gonna be real with you. Struggle is a part of it. Losses are a part of it. Setbacks are a part of it. Sometimes you have to go through your worst just to become your best. Sometimes you have to lose everything just to gain everything. Don't let it discourage you, let it encourage you. You'll never get to your success by skipping the process. You'll never grow without growing pains. The valley might be ugly, but I promise you this, the peak is beautiful. So don't ever stop climbing because the only way it works if you work. The only way you progress is if you proceed. Don't give up on you because they gave up on you. Don't stop believing in you because they stopped believing in you. What they think should never influence what you know. How they feel about you should never change how you feel about yourself. Your battle is not with them, your battle is within. Your competition is nobody else. So that means can't nobody defeat you except yourself. Can't nobody stop you without your permission. I hate to be rude, but losers focus on winners and winners focus on winning. So you keep your eyes on the prize. You rise above the lies. You rise above the hate. You rise above the fake. You rise above anything or anyone that's in your way that's trying to prevent you from being great. If y'all feel that, say, oh yeah. Hold on, I'm not through. I'm not through. No. I'm not through. Hold on. I'm not through. Hold on. Anybody have any struggles in here? Let me see. A struggle. Right here? Hold this for me. I know y'all like, why did he have a ruler? Right here. I don't want to throw it and hurt somebody and get sued. There you go. All right, real quick. Man, how y'all feel? Everybody that I gave a ruler, I want everybody else to have an imaginary ruler. Anytime I come out, this is what I do. I write my insecurity on here, right? So when I wrote comparison. right? We live in a life full of comparison, and that's what I did for a lot of my life, and I still do it at times. I compare my life. And a lot of us, we have something that we measure our life with, right? Sometimes it's likes, followers, comparisons, sometimes it's whatever, and we measure our life with that. Stop, and I'm not telling you not to measure anything, because some of y'all have businesses and you're not gonna mess up your business and tell me that I told you to stop measuring and blame me, right? But some of us are measuring our worth, our self-love by the wrong things. And so for those that have that ruler, what I want you to do is write on that ruler the external things that you're measuring your life with. It's time to stop measuring your life, and it's time to start appreciating your life. Can we go back to that last slide, please? It's time to stop measuring your life and start appreciating your life. So I want you to, this is the world's ruler, right? This is what they give you, your bank account. You gotta have this to be successful. You have this amount of followers to be successful. You gotta be this by the time you're 30. All these standards that they put on you. Society. Forget what society thinks. Forget it. Forget the rules, break the rules. You make your own rules. And break every single ruler. Every single ruler, okay? So what we're gonna do on the count of 3, in a few seconds, we're all gonna break our imaginary rules. And when you get home, find a ruler, break it. I do it every single time I'm about to speak and I look at it. If y'all feel that, say, oh yeah. Can I give y'all a few more words before I leave? Y'all sure? Y'all not bored, are you? Never back down, even when your back's against the wall. It matters how many times you get back up, not how many times you fall. It's about your mentality. What's the point of dreaming a dream? You're not working to turn that dream into reality. So speak life into your life. Be your own motivation. A legend is just an ordinary person with extraordinary determination. So find a way to make one. At the end, you just regret the chance you didn't take, so find the courage to take one. Your only limit is you. Don't surrender to your struggle. Make that struggle surrender to you. Listen, pain is temporary, but giving up is forever. Never be good with good enough when you know inside you lives someone better. You didn't come this far just to settle. You didn't come this far just to accept whatever. You came this far to take it to your next level. You came this far to become something greater. And what makes it even more special is that you didn't depend on favors, is that you did it with plenty haters. But as you can see, nobody can stop your life when your life is highly favored. So growth event, for your dreams, for your passion, for yourself, don't you ever stop working. And always remember this, when the destination is worth reaching, the path won't always be perfect. 1, 2, 3. It's rehab time. Let's get it. Thank you.